Hey everybody, time for frequently asked questions. Or let's start with an infrequently asked question though first.
Which one is that?
What happened to your hair?
Well, I've got like leftover Halloween hair, so it's just a little bit different than normal, but let's see if we can just get through it.
Should we press through?
Let's
press
try.
on? Okay. Well, question number one, the most common question. Were you a smoker?
Yeah.
Are you a smoker?
People ask that. Doctors ask that a lot, actually.
Yeah.
Every time we see a doctor, they'll ask if you're a smoker. So, are you a smoker?
Of course not.
Not a smoker.
Not a smoker, never have been a smoker. And that sometimes confounds them with the progression of my disease. But no, not a smoker. And I guess what that kind of leads to is, well, how did we get here? And what causes this, right?
Yeah, what causes the cancer? So, I mean, it's a reasonable question for people to ask. I mean, smoking does cause cancer. And when you have cancer in your throat, then the question is, was it caused by smoking? But in this case, it wasn't. And we've talked a little bit before about kind of two kinds of cancer, the P16 positive and P16 negative. P16 negative cancer is typically caused by smoking.
Right.
And you're not a smoker and you don't have that kind of cancer. The type of cancer that you do have is caused by a virus. So I think kind of backing up, any cancer at all is just an overgrowth of cells. It's cells that are supposed to grow one way and they grow a different way.
Right.
In a way that's dangerous, in a way that they're not supposed to grow. And so the cancer cells that you have in your throat are caused by a virus that when people get it, usually the body will clear that virus, but sometimes the body doesn't clear that virus, and over time those cells mutate and they become cancer.
Right.
It's the same virus that causes cervical cancer, so same thing, and almost everyone has had this virus at some point in their life.
Yeah.
And just sometimes it stays in the body and then those cells mutate later on. We can test for cervical cancer, and we do. So we know that that's in the body. There is no test for the kind of cancer that you have to detect it until it does what it does.
Which seems weird. I remember you not finding that research, and
it's
how frustrating that was.
The reason is because of the way that the throat is designed, and there's just too many like little holes and places for things to go, and so there's just no way they could test one part of your throat and find not cancer there, and it could be somewhere else.
Right.
So
exactly.
That's definitely a question that people ask. How did you get this kind of cancer?
Yeah. What other kind of questions do you think we've been hearing a bunch of?
I think the biggest question that people ask is, what is the prognosis? What does that look like for you? And that's a hard question for all kinds of reasons.
Right.
Prognoses are weird because they're really just numbers. I mean, it's just a number. If you look up, you can look it up, you can Google it. I've done it, and you've done it. If you look, you can see those numbers, but the numbers are pretty deceptive for a lot of reasons, and they don't really tell you anything about what's going to happen with your cancer,
your situation,
because that's dependent on your current health, how you respond to treatment, what other kinds of things are happening in your body. All of that is really dependent. But if you look at the numbers, they're out there, and they can range from 15 up from there as far as prognosis. But again, those numbers are pretty deceptive because even within prognosis, there's different kinds of ways to look at prognosis. So the research might be cancer specific. So of the people who had cancer and survived compared to other people with cancer, it might be just relative prognosis. It might be general prognosis compared to just other people your age.
Right.
So the numbers tell us things, but they don't tell us everything, and they certainly don't tell us how you're going to respond to.
It's true, but what I will say is that the numbers that we've seen right now allow me to be confident that our treatment is going to work and that we're going to move on and have a happy and prosperous life.
Right.
So
you are receiving what they call curative treatment, which means that they expect that the things that they're going to be able to do medically are going to remove all the cancer from your body.
boom.
So that's an interesting kind of knife edge
Way to look at things.
The doctor said it's 100 or 0. Your odds are 100%. Because what has to happen is they have to remove the cancer from your body. So you are getting curative treatment, and we expect that if modern medicine does what it's supposed to do, that's gonna be 100% curative for you.
Correct.
Curative treatment, though, is interesting because they know that if they don't completely remove the cancer, then that's not going to be successful for you long term. So curative treatment is more difficult. There's a lot more side effects. They're going to do. I think probably I would say they're saying you need to embrace the suck, because that's the outcome is to have the best outcome. They're willing to have a really hard treatment experience because that's where the outcome comes from. So
we'll be aggressive. We're gonna go knock stuff out, and then at the end of that period, we're gonna be in a good place.
Yep.
We'll be in a good place. So
yep.
Very good. All right. There's some questions for you.